Okay, we'll perhaps wait for another 5 minutes. So some more people are joining, I think. Devaruti, I think from your college, some more people are joining, right? Sunil, there are few people who are messaging that they are unable to join. The host has to allow. For example, Shatadru and Rituparna, these are the people who are trying to join. Sunil, आपको एक बार देखना पड़ेगा. Shushabon, should we start? Are you there?
Yeah, so I'm available. So anybody who are ready, let me know.
No, sure, you're there, and okay. So great. So I think our professor Shonji Bishash is also there. Shushabon, just formally getting you introduced. He's going to moderate the session. Just waiting for a few people to join because I got some WhatsApp messages saying that We are trying to join, but we are unable to, join in.
No problem.
Mr. Mitto, what I request you is that let others join. So
Let's
see,
start.
the Facebook Live also has started. So you please start the
Okay, I
proceeding.
think it's better we start. Let them join because I can see at least 3 or 4 more people joining in just now. Okay, good. So a very warm welcome once again. We are from Calcutta Business School, and we are conducting yet another webinar after a little bit of a gap. I'm sure, and I wish everybody who has joined here is in good health. We have been hearing not so very good news across for the last many days, but we want to start the webinar with sincere prayers from Calcutta Business School, from all of us, that we must keep ourselves safe. We are praying for all those people who are suffering, but we are also sure, because we are positive people by nature, I'm sure people will come across, and we all will come across this kind of crisis very soon. So let me welcome first our speaker for today, Mr. Sushobhan Mukherjee. He's there with us. Before I go in for a detailed introduction of his, let me introduce Calcutta Business School in the beginning for those who have joined and thankfully have joined in this amidst all this crisis also. So let me first extend a warm welcome to all the eminent personalities who are present and are also going to preside today. Our special welcome to Mr. Saurav Ghosh, who is the Senior Advisor of the group, our Secretary General of CBS, Mrs. Brutati Bhattacharya, our Principal in Charge, Professor Don, and of course, our moderator, Professor Shunji Bishwas, and also Mr. Sushobhan Mukherjee. A little bit about Calcutta Business School, which belongs to the Sikshatan Foundation, which is a 100-year-old education institution. All of you must be knowing. We have just completed a centenary last year. This also belongs to the SK Birla Group, as you all know. So Sikshatan Foundation is the apex body which establishes and administers and manages following educational institutions like Marwari Balika Vidyalaya, which was established in 1920, which was followed by Sri Sikshatan School, which was in 1954, and followed by the college, which was in 1955. And last but not the least, which came up in our list, was the Calcutta Business School, which was established in 2008. So the trustees of the society actually had started a residential management institution which was styled as Calcutta Business School under the stewardship of Mr. S.K. Birla, who is also the president of the Society Sikshatan Foundation. And there are also other eminent industrialists closely associated like trustees like Mr. Siddharth Birla, who is the vice president of the trust. A few other eminent trustees like Mr. G.K. Khaitan, Mr. G.P. Goenka, Mr. R.P. Goenka, Mr. R.S. Goenka, Mr. Arun Saraf, Mr. Pavan Poddar, and Mr. Raghu Reddy. You must all be knowing that Calcutta Business School is one of the top AICTE approved autonomous management institute in the Eastern region. It was established in 2008, offering a 2-year full-time postgraduate diploma in management and management development programs as well. This business school, modeled on the top-ranking business schools of the country, located in a sprawling 15-acre residential, eco-friendly, and smart campus on the outskirts of Kolkata in Joka and Bishnupur. Several activities are also conducted throughout the year which transform and empower the students. Mrs. Brutati Bhattacharya is the First Lady and the Secretary General, and Sri Saurav Ghosh is the advisor of the group, while Mr. G.K. Khaitan is the chairman of the core committee of CBS. So now let me introduce our very honorable speaker, Mr. Sushobhan Mukherjee. Sushobhan is the chairman of InfoSec Foundation and CEO for Prime InfoServe LLP. I would request everybody to please mute their mic so that we have a seamless, program. Mr. Sushobhan Mukherjee has about 20 years of experience in IT consulting, technology, data center, cybersecurity, project management, and business development, as well as corporate relationship. He's a cybersecurity practitioner and design architect since his stint with all major telecom or IT operators like Tata, Airtel, Sifi in India. For the last 10 years, he has been an entrepreneur and an institution builder. He is the co-founder and CEO of Prime InfoServe LLP, one of the leading technology integrator and InfoSec consulting ecosystem in India, working with Indian and global brands. Besides, he's the chairman for InfoSec Foundation, a non-profit initiative to cyber awareness across the globe. He took the message and mission of InfoSec Foundation in India, Bangladesh, Africa, Southeast Asia, Middle East, and Europe. He is committed to the cause of information security and will continue this campaign of defense, offense, and proactive as well as preemptive protection with your cooperation and support. He has been widely acknowledged by industry-leading cybersecurity firms and senior professionals for the excellence in leading and delivering cybersecurity projects, assessments, and trainings in different sectors involving public, private enterprises, and government. His efforts in cybersecurity domain has been widely acknowledged by customers, government, law enforcement authorities, and media globally in various communities, articles, sessions, and forums. All of you must be knowing today he's going to present and he's going to talk about a very, very important and imperative topic in today's world, which is extremely contemporary and significant. The topic is cyber disaster, its detection, response, and mitigation of risk. So I welcome all of you once again for this very, very exciting webinar and this session that is going to follow. And now I'm going to hand it over to our own Professor Sanjeev Biswas to take this as a moderator and interact. In the meanwhile, I also request all the students to kindly fill up the feedback form that we are going to issue through this webinar while this is going on. And once again, I welcome all of you. Thank you very much. Over to Professor Biswas.
Good afternoon to all present here and respected speaker of this session. Indeed, it's a great pleasure to attend an webinar amidst this pandemic time on such an important issue. We are very much focused on what is happening in the COVID front. Of course, we are mentally a bit down seeing that the regular figure, all these things. But besides this COVID scenario, you must keep in mind that hackers are hackers are also ready. They are ready to hack your account. They are ready to hack your personal details to create some menace amidst this danger itself. We are in the age of big data, so we are very much tech savvy. All of us are using more than one smartphones. We are doing our transactions from our phone itself. So technology has given us an opportunity to work from home. Technology has given us the opportunity to know the unstructured unstated need of the customers as well to the business. But at the same time, it also imposes a challenge to keep our data or information secure. And moreover, it has a social angle too. There are many instances where common people get harassed out of these cyber security lapses. So this topic is a very pertinent one, and we are really, really fortunate to have you, Mr. Mukherjee, on this board for this session. So Mr. Sushobhan Mukherjee is an expert in this domain. So without any delay, it's my pleasure and honor to hand over the session to Mr. Mukherjee for deliberating on this important topic.
Thank you, Mr. Biswas. So, am I audible to all of you?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Biswas, Mr. Mitra, for the introduction. So, warm welcome to today's session for all the attendees. So, thank you, Kolkata Business School, for organizing this kind of knowledge sharing sessions so that it will be meaningful for all the audience, all the students, and everyone. So I'll be having a small presentation. Through that, I'll run through. As Mr. Biswas and Mr. Mitra, everyone was saying, all of us are aware of present situation where we are running through a disaster situation, specifically in India. So in this situation, we are trying to talk about cyber disaster, which is having a little bit of synergy, because as you can all understand, we are all talking about shortage of oxygen, shortage of medicine, shortage of various different stuff, shortage of vaccinations. So that happens in India and this kind of countries. What the reason is that we are very much complacent. We are very much, once the situation was under control, neither government, no one has taken any proactive measures so that uh, the proper capacity could have been built so that this kind of situation we could have avoided. So similar things happens even in cyber situation, cyber security, because all of us, as we all know, we are running through a period of a digital transformation. So COVID and this kind of situation has forced us to get more attracted, more impacted with this digital transformation journey. But otherwise also we are more towards this digital journey due to, that's why talk is about VUCA world. I think a lot of you have heard about the word VUCA, which is volatile, uncertain, uh, complex and ambiguous. So that makes our life more miserable, because digital is part of our lifestyle. We cannot avoid those digital, but since we are not aware of the situations, cyber security, the hackers are getting attracted and we are getting impacted. So let us, so today's session, maybe around next 40-45 minutes, we will try to learn few of the, because today's session agenda is not to make you more scary. Cyber security problems are there. There are a lot of issues, but today's session we will try to understand few takeaways, so that which few basic things, because COVID has taught us to go to the basics. Like you have to sanitize our hands, we have to wear masks and all those things. Those are very basics, because in earlier in our childhood times also you might have seen my mother, my father, they used to tell us to wash our hands with soap and other things. Those are very basics to uh, our life. So COVID has taught us forcefully to follow that. In the same tune, in cybersecurity also, if we can go to the basics, practice few of the basic hygienes in our day-to-day life, lot of problems we might avoid. So today's session agenda will be definitely to highlight few of the critical areas, and definitely more again more focus will be, instead of complaining generally, we always keep on complaining something is not happening, something is not there. There are a lot of problems. But today's agenda will be to identify few of the solutions, very easy basic solutions, which we can and implement in our day-to-day life, so that we can become we can stay safe and secure. So about me, I'll skip because it has already been told. So this is a very interesting slide of mine. I always try to put this slide in any of the initial presentations. Left hand side, these are few gadgets which I used to have in 30 years back. Once I started my initial job, I got a first credit card with HSBC, and with that credit card there are some systems of earning some points and something. I have gone ahead and purchased the Iowa Walkman. So parallelly you might see a lot of other elements like a transistor, a floppy disk, a digital diary, a calculator, and the below you can say KB20 kind of a Kodak camera. Then there is a this was kind of a BPL, or I think Uptron kind of television which I used to have in my home. And next one is some Pentium 2 and Pentium 1 kind of computers. So in after 30 years of passing through our life, it entire stuff has been evolved to a small mobile phone like this. So all of you, you are using mobile phone. You do not need any of the gadgets which is available in the left hand side. This mobile phone is no longer is a device which helps us only to talk. It also helps us to see a movie through the OTT platforms. It helps us to, it's not less than a computer. It is having say 4 GB, 8 GB kind of RAM. It is having around 16 GB kind of, or maybe 32 GB kind of storage space. You can plug in a memory chip to enhance the capacity. It is having a flash. You can use it as a torch. Definitely, it is having a lot of musical elements. It is having YouTube, lot of other things. So, entire left-hand side gadgets has been transferred to a small device like a smartphone. So this is a very interesting slide. I think many of you know or may not. So this was the first advertisement was Macintosh was born by when they were trying to transform entire IBM mainframe kind of systems to Macintosh kind of platforms. In another, I think it is in the year of '86. They have introduced this ad. So ad was like that. One young lady is coming up with a hammer, and he is breaking very large IBM mainframe kind of computers and bringing in Macintosh. You can clearly understand the earlier slide I have shown. Everything in our life, it is changing almost every. It is no longer even 6 months, 1 year kind of time frame. Every point of time, every minute, lot of things are changing. So we are bundling, we are concising a lot of our day-to-day technology into smaller stuffs and with much more larger capacity and probability. So this is the kind of 2021, as we are started talking about internet, started talking about digital transformation, started talking about a smartphone. All of us are consumed so much of internet data in today's situation. Like as we are, I was writing somewhere, like we are now into a lockdown to another lockdown. In between, we have passed on unlock and different phases. Earlier lockdown was little bit of unplanned, but this time lockdown is little planned. But somehow of the other, even while we are stuck in the home has become our new office. Many of us are not got bored because we have this interesting machine. We are consuming so much of Facebook, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Instagram, Twitter, Tinder, and whatnot. So this is a infographics you can, if you search through internet, you will find. So in 60 seconds of a time in our internet minute, not only from mobile, laptop, desktop, tablets, we are doing so many different stuffs. So in India, our habit got little changed once a specific operator brought to a specific data connectivity in the year of say, 3-4 years back. So earlier, I still remember in 2004-5, once I used to work in a telecom organization, we used to have a dongle where we used to have 1 GB kind of a data connectivity for a month. Now I think all of us are consuming around minimum 1 GB to 2 GB per day. So what do? We definitely use those internet for doing something. So we consume all those things in our day-to-day life. And definitely moment our home has become our new office. Our mobile phone, our laptop and desktops has become the mainstream media for interfacing to the digital. Definitely a lot of problems are bound to come. So these are the few pictures I think many of you know. So I'll not try to repeat. So Facebook hacking, like the last few years there was Microsoft Hotmail kind of mail got leaked. Google data got leaked. Uh, there was like Momo kind of game, like WannaCry kind of a problem, because we are so much addicted and attracted towards digital. We are forgetting with so much of attraction with the virtual media, we are sometimes forgetting our real life also. That you can very well understand. Like someone is this blue whale kind of game. If someone has gone through, or maybe someone has wrote this news, it was very painful. You are trying to do something with your body, which is very painful, but still it is you are finding it adventurous. You are getting addicted towards it. I think many of you are using, have used this Sadha or OMG kind of apps, where how you will look like once you are at the age of 60, what will be your next life, you will be looking like whom. So you do all those funny things and post it to your social media, but you do not know that kind of funny things can create a lot of problems for you. So how that will come to a few of the next slides. Like WannaCry or different kind of ransomwares you might have heard, where your machines gets encrypted. People ask for bitcoins. Even for last week only, say there are some news in the US. There are some specific systems got completely down due to this kind of ransomware attacks. You might have heard about the last few days. There are a lot of controversies with Belgium. Lot of cyber attack has happened in Belgium. So if those situations can happen, countries like US, UK, Singapore, Belgium, so-called first world countries, UK and Europe, you can very well understand the countries like us, where still there are lot of people who are staying in the villages. They are using a smartphone without proper knowledge of how to use it actively. So definitely there will be a problem. So let us try to figure it out. So this is the lockdown time. Uh, so this is the kind of a myth. One is my machine is safe and my mobile is safe, my laptop is safe, my desktop is safe for enterprise. Enterprise thinks his enterprise is safe. There is no problem is my side. Problem is always in the other side. Other people, other enterprise, other organization, there is problem. I mean, my side, everything is safe. And second is, I can never be hacked. One is my machine, one is my enterprise. Since everything is safe on my side, definitely nothing will happen to me. So this is nothing but myths. So moment we can accept and acknowledge nothing is safe in this digital world. Either we know we are compromised or we do not know we are compromised, then our life will become easy. Because moment we accept, yes, there might be some problem at my end, might be where I got compromised, but I do not know how I got compromised, then my philosophy, my approach to the towards the situation will be much more different compared to the situation everything is safe, everything is right, there is no problem at all. So, as I said, today's agenda, it is not only about specifically to cyber security, but also cyber security in this COVID situations, where, as I was saying, home has become our niche. There, this year we are getting into it in lot more planned manner. But last year it was lockdown and other thing was completely unplanned. Unplanned, what is the problem? Problem is office once, or there might be in the cloud, but you have certain policies, procedures, technology using which you are getting governed. But moment you are in a lockdown kind of situation, you are working from home, so that time situations becomes difficult for an enterprise. So the same user who was used to work from office, he is now coming from home. Not only that, he can come from anywhere and he can come from any device. Means he is using either his own laptop, desktop, or his mobile. So those mobiles, those desktops which are not controlled or managed by enterprises, so it is coming from anywhere. It can come from anywhere, it can come from any device. So the managing the cyber security posture becomes much more difficult. So we'll try to understand what are the difficulties, what are the possible consequences. Let us see. So as I said, so it has become completely unplanned. Last year, work has become our new office. We are a lot of people are started working from home mode. Like today's situation, we are doing it in a webinar mode. If everything was well, we might have discussed kind of a podium in a face-to-face kind of situation. There was much more better chance for doing a face-to-face interaction. So not only home, not only healthcare, not only office, almost all different kind of situation came to a work from home kind of model. But the problem has happened due to our cyber carelessness, our no preparation, no precaution, and taken things granted. And as I said in my earlier slide, no problem can happen to me. And India kind of situation is since all of us prefer to go kind of a jugaad, so definitely a lot of problems will definitely come. You might have seen some data, it has been mentioned. I'll not read by slides, but as you can say, internet consumption uh, took a rise. There was around 308 petabytes of data for daily being used since lockdown. So, so that only not only usage of digital data, but also kept lot of digital footprints which attracts the cyber criminals by hackers to get addicted. So it is not only sometimes it is about a uh, data loss doesn't always mean say my money has gone out from bank. That can be sometimes goodwill, repute issue, some kind of data leakage, which may sometimes lead to various other kind of consequences. What are those? Definitely will come in next of the few of the slides. So This we have discussed as we are trying to understand what are the possible kind of attacks or consequences it is coming. So definitely spam, many of us are definitely know. So spams are coming off almost from anywhere because uh, the messages or mails will come, phishing kind of mails. It will come like you have won a Amazon kind of gift voucher. If you are kind of enterprise, your mail, some mail has come, your HR team has sent to you, like your HR policy got updated. So, or maybe your appraisal, you have got certain feedback you have to give. So some certain links you have to put certain data. You get some messages like income tax department has sent you some income tax refund. So the messages are like that. We get provoked. We get provoked without understanding the consequences. We click on the link. That will ask several kind of data, sometimes of our mobile number, sometimes of our OTPs even. So we'll provide all those data, and later once we get attacked or get some kind of problem, we'll complain we are under cyber attack. But tell me clearly, so is it a kind of a cyber attack? So we are getting provoked and we are getting attracted to some kind of putting up some data on those data are given by us only, because it's still phishing, spam, those kind of things are much more sophisticated. But you can very well understand you got an OTP or maybe you got a call from a bank saying, I am calling from SBI so and so branch. Yesterday you have opened up a account. So that account, some problem is there. So we are trying to modify it so that your debit card or credit card get activated, or maybe its KYC is pending. So you need to get certain data. So you will be getting an OTP now. So tell me the OTP. 99% of the people, common people like all of us, will give him the OTP. And next very moment, we will see at 5,000 taka or maybe 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees got deducted from my bank. Immediately you start creeping, and then we'll have to take a lot of different actions to safeguard myself. But how it has got happened? It has happened because psychologically we are weak. More and more we are getting attached to the machines. We are getting hooked up to the machines. Our thought process, our analytical power are getting impacted. So we are moment we are hooked up to the machines, moment someone is asking me something, we are giving it to them. And definitely we are getting into a kind of a problem. So spam, social harvesting. Harvesting means what? Suppose if I analyze any one of your social account for last 7 days, I can understand everything. Like what is your present status, what you are doing mentally, you are weak or not, is there a family problem, you are going for a travel, you have got some promotion, what are the restaurants you have ate last 7 days, what are your food habits, everything. The moment we can analyze any one of your social footprints, let it various kind of social accounts, your activity and all, so you can very well understand what your socio-cultural life. So that way, the kind of data we are consuming, we are putting all those data in the Google Drive. All of you will know there are certain controversies with the WhatsApp data privacy policies. As you can understand, their metadata are not getting encrypted. You are storing your WhatsApp data into the kind of a Google Drive that is not encrypted. So that way you are consuming so much of data and storing in a kind of internet kind of media without proper precaution and safety mechanism. So we are leaving apart lot of digital footprints ourselves across the digital ocean. So that way a lot of data are getting harvested. So definitely that will be again used against us. Digital data harvesting, like suppose as you said, daily we are consuming 2 GBs kind of data. What do? We'll go to some YouTube, we'll see some movie, we'll download something. So you do not know all your internet usage pattern are getting analyzed. There are certain kind of analytics, big data, a lot of things we talk about. So not only you might have seen, many of you might have experienced, you search something in the Google, next day in some electronic gadgets or some food item or something e-commerce you want to buy, you search in the Google, next day in the Facebook right hand side ad banner, the same thing will get populated. You will be wondering how it has come to my Facebook. Because Facebook, Google, everyone is doing analysis of your internet data, what you are doing. You are under continuous surveillance. So all those data are getting harvested, and definitely it is getting hackers are using those kind of data, doing some kind of data breach. So as I was saying, the kind of phishing mails and other things come from employment, different kind of financial stuff, retail kind of resales, and definitely there are kind of lot of privacy issues. Because as you can understand, in today's situation, in sitting in India, my mobile number is one of the critical identity factor for me, because you might have seen your Aadhaar data, whatever you do, it will ask for some certain kind of OTP. Fair enough. So mobile number is one of the critical factor. But now you go to a shopping mall, you go to a pizza shop owner, he wants to buy a pizza. Immediately he will ask for, what sir, what is your mobile number? So immediately you will tell him the mobile number. So you will find your number, your email address, your name, everything is saved there. So it is become very easy for them, so that your billing, everything becomes faster. But you are not understanding, you sharing that mobile number, you are getting approaching to us targeted campaigns. So next time, lot of offers will come to your mobile number. But you are also not able to understand, sharing your very confidential your mobile number, you are approaching towards danger. How? Suppose suddenly one day you will find your mobile is not working. There is no signal. You will find your area today, there is a lot of rainfall. There will be lot of other things. So maybe local BTS is down. So there is no power in the BTS. Your mobile signal is down. So fair enough. 2 days, 3 days, there is no mobile signal. You may not understand, because nowadays there are a lot of telecom outlets, lot of retail outlets. So someone, because you have given your data to many of the places. So buying um, getting a new SIM number against your mobile number is very easy nowadays. So you have to do a small FIR in the police station with your identity proof that is available in the, you have given to many places. You have, once you are giving to buying a mobile number, you are giving your Aadhaar photocopy. You are going to a hotel, you are going to a hospital. You have given those data to many people. So I'll take a photocopy of your legal identity card. Let it be Aadhaar card, passport, PAN number. You have given to many places. So it will be very easy for me to get those photocopy. We'll do a FIR and go to a retail shop. Using this FIR, I'll issue a duplicate SIM. By the 3 days, your not mobile signal is not there. By that time, I have issued a new SIM against your number. All those two factors, OTPs, whatever you have put it in your bank, it will land it to me. So now you can very well understand, sharing your simple mobile number and making it available anywhere in the cloud, like your Facebook or anywhere you have put all the settings public. I can very well understand your name, your spouse name, your date of birth, your mobile number, your email ID. Lot of data are publicly available, and you have no idea how those informations can be used for your harm. So these are the few possible areas. So maybe I'll come to this point, how you can safeguard. So these were the few of the points how critical issues are coming. Phishing I talked about, email attacks, targeted attacks. That is a very interesting example. So I was talking to one of the enterprise. What happens? So targeted attacks nowadays through email, it happens to the targeted attacks to the CXOs. So using social engineering, I know CFO of that particular organization will be traveling to London tomorrow. So tomorrow from 1 p.m. to say next 6 or 7 hours, he is inside to a flight, so his mobile number will be not available. Using social engineering, I know that. So what I'll do, under targeted data, suppose 1 o'clock is his flight, 5 minutes before 1 o'clock, a mail will come from CFO to his finance team. So I am entering to the flight. Next 6 hours I am not available. So this particular vendor payment of 30 lakhs is very important. So immediately you disburse the payment to this guy. So it will look like very authentic to you, because you know, yes, he is traveling to London. Definitely he is entering to the flight. his mobile will be not available. He has given an instruction to the downstream, and it is instruction is given by the CFO. Immediately disburse that uh, payment. Later, you will identify that mail was not issued by him. Some efficient, sophisticated hacker, understanding social engineering, he has tapped that particular window. That time he is not available, and he has utilized the situation in some such a interesting fashion of a targeted attack, so that entire organization got compromised. We was doing a digital forensic for what a organization in Kolkata. They have lost around 7.5 cr in similar kind of business email compromise. What was happening? They were interacting with their vendor in Czechoslovakia, in Europe. Some discussion was happening on the raw material, price negotiation, and something. So in the mail chain from the seventh mail onwards, the eighth mail, the email uh, communication angle remains same, person name remains same. The domain got changed to a lookalike domain. So let's assume say ICICIbank.com. So if I put the logo, everything is same. After ICICI, I put one more extra I. So 99.9% people will overlook. So from the 8th mail onwards, 70th mail up to 70th mail, all the discussion happened to the business lookalike email ID. And then gradually the vendor said our Europe account got somehow, and it is in a block situation. Why don't you send us our new account in Atlanta? In a trail of 1.5 months, they have paid 7.5 cr. Interestingly, that particular vendor, last 1 year, they have not paid more than a 1 crore. So it could not start to the finance and accounts team. Somebody could have put a checks and balance in a 1.5 months period. In a vendor, I am paying to a large amount of money in their different account. Last 1 year, I have not paid that. So that pattern got overlooked even by the senior people in the management, in the finance team, in the accounts, everyone. So these are the email kind of frauds, business email compromise, targeted attacks, lot of different kind of problems are coming, especially associated with emails. Phishing I talked about, virtual goods, PC games license keys, because we are all fascinated about a lot of games. We try to use lot of cracked software, unlicensed tools, even our sometimes in our Windows and Office kind of applications, those are also cracked. So through that channel also different kind of license keys, lot of anomalies will happen. Reputation hijacking, you might have noticed there was a problem of that with Twitter. With a lot of celebrities got impacted with Twitter kind of problems. Their accounts got hijacked and some mails gone to somewhere else. Like you might have seen during WhatsApp kind of controversy, Tesla owner, he has just spelled out in his Twitter account, Telegram, we should all use Telegram. There was another Telegram with a different ID. Without understanding, lot of people downloaded that, and that Telegram, that was different Telegram communications or something else name, not the actual Telegram we are talking about. Their share price has gone high. Then Tesla CEO has to put one more tweet saying, no, I was actually talking about this. By that time, that particular organization, their share prices, their valuation, everything got high. So this is the power of social media. So if your social media account got hijacked, so you not only it can impact you, but sometimes that is being used some kind of abusive stuff. So your goodwill, your repute, that might also get impacted. So there are different other kind of problems like bot activity, the DDoS kind of problems, account credentials, as I earlier also talked, financial credentials also we talked about, hostage attacks, fake antivirus, ransomware, email account ransom, webcam image extortion. So extortion related activities that are there on the next of the slides. So definitely I'll come through. So what are the specific things happened during COVID times? Phishing, already different. We are talking many a time about phishing, spear phishing or whaling, fake news and misinformation that you might have seen even for the election times also. Lot of fake news videos are running through. Ransomware, cryptojacking, software vulnerability, water hole attack, hacked in translation. So these are the possibly around 8-10 kind of possible things. So many of you have heard the names of this, and many of you might not. So I'll not run through each of, because uh, as you can understand, cybersecurity is a vast subject. If I keep on talking each of the topic, it might take 1 hour time. So that's why in a one slide I wanted to put one liner of each of the items. So at least these words will harp on your mind. Later also you can keep those words in mind. You can search in Google if you have more interest to learning about this. So definitely you can run through, because as I said, we'll try to come to the solution. That's why I am trying to set the context about the problems, few of the key words, key sentences, so that we can come back to the solutions. So these are the prevalent cybersecurity issues during COVID times: bugs, worms, virus, bots, trojans, ransomware, adware, spyware, and whatnot. Sorry. Phishing I have already explained, so definitely I am not going to. Only thing I can tell you, like, moment you get a phishing mail, you always look at the email address, not only the name. You will find the name is someone of your known person, but there will be certain anomalies in the email address. Either email address can be different, email address can be a Gmail ID, email address can be a different spelling. So it is a very important indicator. You should look at the not only the name of the person but also the email ID of that person. And also not only phishing mail but also the phishing messages in SMS or WhatsApp, like as you say, your Paytm KYC is gone, so you need to call this number and update Paytm. You will always find there will be certain spelling mistakes. We will overlook PYTM or something else, some spelling mistake somewhere, so that we will overlook and get provoked. And definitely some of the phishing mails will be having attachment. There will be sometimes having outbound links to. So suppose you got a mail from the bank stating this, here you have to update something. Instead of opening the link from the mail, suppose the SBI bank has sent you something, you have to update something. Instead of opening the link from that mail, you can open up a separate website of SBI bank. You can go there, log into your account and do the necessary updation. So do not go by the, if you find the mail is suspicious, do not try to click on the outbound link, whatever mentioned in the mail. Yeah. So malware I've talked already about, because you might have, since today we are talking about Zoom. So last year you might have heard about a lot of problems with the Zoom, because all those educational institution, all of the people are started work their classes from Zoom only. But there was initial days, there was a lot of problem happened with the Zoom this thing, because that's also I will say this was not specifically about the Zoom problem, because we have not followed the best practices. Years later, Zoom came back and put those basic security policies in the default. But like simple, suppose I am running this Zoom meeting, I am the host. Instead of ending the meeting, I leave the meeting. So the teacher will leave the meeting, all the students are still there. I have not put any mechanism like putting the users in the lobby. I have not put any checks and balances, who will be able to talk, who will be share his video, who will be able to present. So definitely the hackers, the other people will try to misuse this using that. And there will be in the chat message, they will put certain kind of links and a lot of other things. So Zoom related lot of problems has happened last year during uh, COVID times. You might have seen there are a lot of Indian power sector, nuclear power sector, a lot of attacks, targeted attacks has happened. Fake news already I talked about. Initially, there was a lot of fake news related to COVID-19 medicines. Now there are a lot of things on the vaccination. There are many fake newses. Now you'll find you will be flooded in WhatsApp and Facebook. Few phone numbers for oxygen, for beds and ICU. So there are many fake stuffs. It is flooded. So it is very essential for us to understand and differentiate between all of them and be cautious. So fake websites links. I've already talked about different kind of banking fake websites. Uh, Zoom bombing I am talked about. Cyber bullying we were talking about. I'll come to the next slide. Cyber bullying is explained. Ransomware, there are many ransomwares in the COVID situations. There are large enterprises, not only large enterprises but also you can say see our industrial control systems got impacted using ransomware. So systems got encrypted. People have to pay bitcoins to get it cleared. Though that is not the ideal practice, but definitely to safeguard our critical data, sometimes we have to do that. Sextortions and the cyberbullying, both are the very critical section nowadays, because nowadays our kids, our childs, they are using our digital media, digital platforms to do their classes. So we need to have a close watch on them. What all things they are doing. If somehow their machines or something gets compromised, so something of the other things can happen. How we can take a control, I will come to that. But like you might have a lot of people have heard, lot of anonymous kind of video calls you get it in your WhatsApp. So there are no other person who is calling, there is no picture of him, but moment he is calling you, you are receiving the call, your picture snapshot he is taking, and then it is being superimposed with some kind of pornographic stuffs and being simulated and spread into the social media to harm you. And maybe on lieu of that, sometimes people are also asking money. If you do not give them money, they will put it to your known circles and try to harm your goodwill. So we need to be very careful on those situations. These are the few news, like you might cognizant, you might have ransomware I was talking about. So they are impacted by maze ransomware. So there are a lot of issues even from Kolkata also. So child pornography I was talking about, because those are Zoom blind dates and other things you might have heard. Because nowadays, since the kids are getting connected with this digital media, there was a news in Delhi. So the Noida police got a complaint, like one businessman, he's getting a lot of live threats, mails, and asking for money around say 10 CR or something. He got hundreds and thousands of emails threatening him and asking him about the money. Once they have analyzed and found, it has been the mails, whatever has been originated, it has been originated from the victim's residence only. Then they got very curious. Then they analyzed, then they found this entire all those mails in bulk mails and morphed mails has been sent by his son. He is only a 10 years old kid. He was doing all those analysis, and he has only sent to his father, giving live threats and asking for around 10 CR kind of money. So we have to be very cautious. Not only so, a lot of our kids, they are bound to do a lot of classes. They are bound to be on internet, a lot of Google Classroom, lot of different kind of stuff they are using. We need to be very careful what exactly they are doing. Blackmail, demand for watching you porn. So sextortion. So, so what are the outcome of the cyberbullying? So straight anxiety, your harassment, you become so violent kind of things, intimidated, humiliation. Lot of things will come through dating and other kind of different kind of chat rooms and other things. So since we are using too much of internet nowadays, we need to be very careful. So how the hackers come to the do the targets? So search engines, online forums, chat rooms, different kind of social media, different kind of e-commerce sites, different kind of gaming and dating kind of sites. Yeah. So now let us understand how we can avoid few of the things. So phishing, we have talked about earlier. How we can be more careful. So you can put your browser certain kind of filters you can put in your browser, Google Chrome or maybe Internet Explorer, whatever browsers you are using. There are options to have a lot of filters. When you are putting any login credentials in any of the web page, sometimes you find it funny because Google is giving you a vault where you can save your password. And next time onwards, you don't have to put any password. That is very risky. And you might have put or same username across all the platform of your Gmail, your Hotmail, your Facebook, your Twitter, whatever platforms in the online you use, you are using maybe same username password. Maybe that username password you have done the combinations of your name, your nickname, your date of birth, your spouse name, your anniversary date, your child's name, all those possible combinations you have used. So nowadays there are certain tools are available. Is not that I have to, being a hacker has to manually do all those possible combinations. There are certain tools which will in a second, automatically or possible combination, it will hack your account. So be very careful. uh, don't go into the untrusted websites. If you are doing a banking kind of sites, you see there should be HTTPS kind of things. So more specific things will come. Like earlier I said, do not share your account details, OTP, PIN, password over a call. Suppose a bank, someone is calling you, you can disconnect the call, call up the bank, or if possible, you can visit to your branch and verify. And then once you are sure, then only you share your data. Yeah, as I said, bank never asks for confidential data. RBI is doing lot of campaigns, but no, we are least bothered. Because as I said, banking URLs, it should be always HTTPS, so you should take it. You should always have a look, because otherwise, as I said, look-alike domains. It will look like everything is same like ICICI Bank, only there is no HTTPS. So you will be entering your data. So ultimately, your banking username, password, OTP, everything will go to there. And most important, once you are having phishing mails and calls, you should immediately report to the police. There are sorry.
Banyak terus.
Yes,
Mami.
please mute. Please mute. Who is speaking? Please mute. Salini Gupta, please mute. Sir, continue.
So first is you must report. You should not suppress it yourself. Do not ignore. You should always report. So we always think reporting to police is a difficult. It is not. I'll come to next of the slides. You can sitting at your home also. You can take lot of reporting activities. You don't have to go to a police station even. So how I'll come to it. Yeah. So for the password front, you use a strong, difficult to guess passwords. So like you always say alphanumerics, put some difficult password. As I said, do not put the same password again and again. If possible, because nowadays whatever generic platforms as a common man we use, all are giving us two-factor authentications like OTPs, like Gmail, your Facebook, your Twitter. You at least enable this. This is freely available. So you should always do that. You should always use the latest version of operating system, applications, browsers, and do not use the cracked and unlicensed softwares. If you do not want to invest money in the Microsoft Office, you use King's Office. Open Office, LibreOffice. The functions, sort of what do we try to do, everything is possible there. Even if you do not want to do that, you have a free Gmail account, you use Google Docs, you use Microsoft Word. Do not try to use a cracked Microsoft Office or Microsoft Windows. Because if you are habituated with a GUI based environment, use Ubuntu, Mint kind of a Linux platforms as your operating system. Do not use unlicensed cracked versions. That will provoke a lot of problems. So as I said, always keep on updating, regular update whatever possible bug fixes, patches for not only for your Windows but also for your other softwares, not only in laptop, desktop but also in mobile. Keep on updating on the latest versions, latest bug fixes. Uh, Use always secure devices, like one is using the secure devices, and once you are using, suppose in my mobile, once I am not using anything, suppose I am going to sleep, all my data connectivity should be stopped. Let it be Wi-Fi, Bluetooth data. It's not that because we are so much of provoked, we do not want to miss a second. So we moment I am awake, so I want to see how many likes has come into my Facebook. So this is a provoking trend, because hackers will identify using the social engineering. The night 10 to morning 6, there is no activity in your social accounts. That time you are sleeping. Your mobile or maybe your laptop is still on, connected to internet. So that is the ideal time for a hacker to do some kind of nuisance in your devices. So cyber crimes for the teens, as I always will be recommending in the next of the slides. Always, I think, yeah, someone is also again speaking. Yeah, so as we keep on saying, we should always install an antivirus in your machines. So most of the antiviruses, whatever, if you have a licensed one in your desktop, laptop, or your mobile, it is having a parental control kind of facilities available. If not, so there are nanny, few names I have mentioned, Kaspersky Safe Kids. There are few open source versions are also available, but whenever your kids are doing some activity from some machine, ensure some parental control so that at least you can supervise. So that, because they are not aware of many things, they'll get provoked, they'll get attacked, they'll get attracted with certain kind of games. Then what happens, you do not know. That is the kind of situation blue whale and other things comes into the picture. So have a parental control kind of software and mechanism on your phones or your PCs. Yeah. This is a government of India initiative, ICR. This is a kind of portal, icr.gov.in. So they keep on updating lot of best practices. So few of the things that we have already talked about, I will not repeat. You can note down this website. There are certain toll-free numbers also. There is a initiative by them, Cyber Safe Girl. So you can continuously get updated with this kind of portals. I'll come to next few of the portals also. There are many government initiatives which can help us to update our knowledge, because as you can understand, hackers are working with the tomorrow's knowledge. Unless we are very much aware what is happening in the industry, what is happening across the globe, we will be not able to safeguard ourselves in our basic cyber hygiene. So there are many like password policies. We talked about critical password. You should change your password in regular intervals. Password in all digital platforms should not be same. As I already said, try to avoid those possible combinations. Whatever available, we can do using social media. I can very well predict two-factor authentication. You should always try to adopt. Again, same thing I have talked already about. Even if you do not want to use the licensed antivirus, there are open source versions are also available, like say for the client, like say Sophos Home. Zone Alarm is a kind of a firewall from Checkpoint. You can use that. Spybot is kind of a free and open source kind of platform. You can use that. Even if you do not want to spend money, there are open source freeware kind of versions available. Try to use that. One is extremely dangerous, not to use anything. Second dangerous is using a cracked and unlicensed version. Yeah. So this was for the laptops. Mobile devices also same. As I said, OS and apps should be updated regularly. Antivirus should be installed. Whenever you are using certain applications, say your Gmail, your Paytm or say your Facebook, you are using from the mobile devices. Once your activity is over, you log it out. So it will be little bit of discomfort. It is not convenient every time you log in with username password, but that will safeguard you a lot of your activities. Once you install any of the application in your mobile, by default it will seek access to all of your possible, like address book, like SMS, like camera. You cannot disable it. But nowadays, once you install the application, you can go to your advanced security and disable those applications, because it is not required. It is not required for Amazon to go through your address book. It is not required for a gaming application to see your camera, your SMS, or address book. So we need to go to the advanced security and disable that. How? That is the next slide I have given in the screenshot. You can understand. We are sometimes nowadays we are so much fanatic about gadgets. We sell those gadgets in say Quickr or OLX kind of platforms, buy new devices. Before we sell those kind of devices, we need to do proper sanitization, either some kind of non-normal formatting, factory reset, some kind of stuff, so that some data, some picture, some intimate moment, something residing in those mobile can be hazardous for me in future. Like WhatsApp, we are all habituated to WhatsApp. By default, generally, what we do, we have enabled auto download of video and images. Nowadays, if as you can understand, we are under signature-less attack. It is no longer exe file will come do a harm to me. Some specific codes may get injected inside a text message, inside a video, inside a image, inside even in a PDF file. So by default, you stop auto download images of videos from the WhatsApp. Moment you can see certain images, videos come from your trusted source, you can manually download it and see. But any image or video coming and getting downloaded to your mobile, it is extremely hazardous. Do not install low reputation apps. You can see reputation when it got published, what are the remarks other people are saying. Do not accept invitation to play from the unknown member in social media. Avoid clicking unknown links. As I said, same username password you do not use. You do not save debit card, credit card number, even CVV numbers in your smartphones. We all nowadays for convenience do a auto detection of a OTP. Suppose your mobile is lost, your credit card, debit card, CVV, everything is saved and OTP is auto detected. So automatically by the time you will disable your SIM card or something of the other will happen. So you put the OTP manually, or some other trick can also be, nowadays all of us are used to mobile phones. So you install the application in one phone, do not save debit card, credit card, CVV numbers, and let the OTP come from in the other mobile. So from there you manually type the OTP. Though it looks like little bit of hazardous, but that will create possibilities of lot of cyber hazards. As I said, once you are not used, stop the internet connection, disable Bluetooth Wi-Fi when it is not needed. So this is the screenshot. As I was saying, during installation, you might not be able to stop access of many of the applications to many of the sensors, like your calendar, camera, contacts, location, microphone, SMS, and whatnot. So you can go to your advanced option. One is you can put a stop in the auto start. It should stop in the background running, and you can also stop accessing those unwanted applications to your critical data. That is available in the mobile security, advanced security options in almost all smartphone devices. Now this is your social media account. You have played something in testoni.com maybe 1 year back. Last 1 year you have not done anything. You will go log in today in your Facebook account and go to your apps. You will see a lot of applications are residing there which you have not used for last 1 year. And we have given those access to those third-party application in my Facebook account. They are sleeping silently there, and seeing on my data whatever we are exchanging through Facebook, and we will keep on complaining like Cambridge data analytica kind of case, like Facebook data got breached. So all those applications which is silently residing in your application, you have given third-party access from your Facebook. It is monitoring all your Facebook data, and some problem happens, you cannot complain. So immediately you should go to your applications in under Facebook settings and see what all applications you have given access you are no longer using. Disable it. Uh, yeah, that we have already discussed in many of my other slides. I will not repeat once again. Use relevant plugins, tools for malware, firewall, web application instances in uh, WordPress kind of applications. Two-factor already told. Deploy SSL to strengthen security for web and mobile applications. There are certain processes are also deployed. I will not go into detail. Certain benchmarking like SANS Top 20 or SOAP Top 10, NIST kind of framework, where they are asking for the enterprise to safeguard their certain policies. There are certain principles like ISO 27000, GDPR kind of laws, where there are certain benchmarking and being deployed for the organization to safeguard critical data. Yeah. So once you are part of cyberbullying or maybe sextortion or some kind of those kind of activities, restrict those things in Instagram. All those things are fine, but being a woman and child related, there are a lot of uh, support system available in the internet itself. Like this is the kind of UNICEF kind of forum what they have created in the online media. If you are a victim, you can take action and report there. This is the kind of NIC and India government SART, they have given certain kind of similar thing we have already discussed. I will not go through. Only I put this slide because you need to also understand if there are certain incidents, if it is not individual, it is corporate, some anomalies has happened, you can definitely report to incident at the nic-sart.nic.in. There are certain phone numbers also. You can call there and report an incident. So other pointers we have already discussed, so I am not going to repeat. So same thing again and again I am putting in many of the slides so that you can harp on your mind, like complex password, like about suspicious URLs, lot of different things we are keeping. It is on repetition, but repetition is for the good so that we can adopt in our day-to-day life. This is a certain website where you can not only report certain kind of incidents, but also if there are certain kind of anomalies or certain kind of issues, you can see their advisories, what are their suggestion. They are putting every week, they are putting certain advisories against a Windows certain version, certain problems. They are putting every day, every week certain kind of advisories. You can learn from there. So even after doing all those things, there are a lot of legal related issues might also happen. So these are the few of the legal platforms which are available. So I am not promoting this particular sites or something like that, but these are the few web-based platforms are available. If you want, you can take their support. Yeah. So this is a Indian Cyber Army, part of Indian Digital Gorima kind of platform, is a government initiative. Any women and child development child related any problems, you can report it here. So these slides are maybe since it is being recorded, so I think these links and the email IDs you will be able to refer later also. So point I am trying to harp on is there are mechanisms. It's not that moment something, so we cannot actually prevent a cyber attack. More and more we can be knowledgeable, definitely we can safeguard ourselves, take necessary precautions. Even after that, if something has happened, we should have the knowledge, we should know, at least know which are the platforms and the methodologies, so that we can take necessary action to further complications, to avoid further complications. So this is a digital Godima kind of program. uh, Yeah, so this was a interesting slide I have captured from. I have attended the session of Venkat, who was the VP and MD of McAfee. He talked about 5 Ps. So strong password, beware of phishing, digital discipline in people, install later patches, and have measured privileges. Measured privileges means earlier I talked about any user from anywhere. So we are putting certain technologies, processes to control those user activities. So ultimately it talks about proper harmony between people, process, and tools. Because whatever tools and technology and processes we built in, who will run it? It will be run by people. So it is about the human elements. Human firewall needs to be uplifted. So if we keep a close eye about 5 P's, we can definitely be lot of heavy. We can have be lot many proactive against cyber issues. So cyber hygienes. So this is a generic slide. Yes, these are the again some repetition slides. Though, but I wanted to point out like infosecawareness.in. This is the key website under ICA. CDAC is also promoting a lot of interesting awareness session day by day. You can keep a note. Yeah. So like you should always look at the authentic sources. Like you are talking about say vaccination. Some nowadays government have opened up private vaccination also, but you should always check once you are booking. So you should go to a co-win portal. You have to go to Arogya Setu, or maybe you are looking at to understand what is the present situation, because nowadays everyone is promoting maybe different kind of newses. So if you search COVID-19, you will find a lot of different kind of websites in the. So you always try to go to the authenticated source approved by the agencies. If it is the government staff, you should go to the government approved agencies only, not any of the websites. So government is having online training platform. It is called Diksha. This is by along with Diksha.gov.in. There are a lot of online training and learning for your self development against cybersecurity programs are available for free. If you are interested to uplift your spirit, you can do that. These are certain Delhi police have done certain campaign again coronavirus kind of different fake websites. I have put a slide how the fake websites gets your attention. So this is a initiative by MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs. A SciCord is the initiative. This will also help you to define. This is having digital police. It will help you to safeguard. If you are impacted, to take certain measures, it will help you. SciCord.gov.in is the website. There you can register. You can take lot of guidance there. ICA I have talked about already. There are Cyber Dost by MHA. There is a Twitter handle. Uh, there you will find lot of support, lot of best practices. They keep on sharing. So now the final role I'll come to is cybercrime.gov.in. Before that, cyber Sacheta Kendra. Suppose you are having certain problems your laptop, desktop, you can find out a nearest Sacheta Kendra from this website. You can go there and you can do a botnet cleaning and malware analysis, which is a government initiative. Any of the Sacheta Kendra available near to your geography. Cyber Shiksha is a DSCI initiative along with Microsoft. Along with Diksha, I talked about government initiative. This is a Cyber Shiksha by DSCI, NASCOM, and Microsoft. There are also a lot of this is endorsed by and supported by METI, Ministry of IT. So you'll get a lot of support, lot of knowledge, lot of awareness from here. Now, as I was saying, so once you are having, even after all those things, if you have certain problems, what to report? You might be having always certain problem. Police doesn't take any case because they say you will go to the cyber police station and other things. So cybercrime.gov.in is the portal where you can lodge your complaint. Lodge your complaint with all your evidences. Automatically, they will analyze, find out your nearest area and assign it to the local police station. They will take action. So cybercrime.gov.in, whenever you have certain kind of problems, you can go to this cybercrime.gov.in portal and file your complaint. do not suppress your stuff. And maybe I have, in one of the slide I have not might not have mentioned any kind of banking fraud also. So success story depends on your reporting. So if you, the RBI mandate is, if you can report in a police as well as banking, your banker within 72 hours of the fraud, they are bound to give your money back. So do not go here and there and waste your time in searching initiatives. File your complaints within 72 hours of its occurrence. So cybercrime.gov.in is one of the interesting portal. And this is a repeating slide. So every state is having a cyber police stations. So there are websites, email ID, phone number, everything is available statewide. In the internet driven world, you can note it down. Still I have captured, since this slides, this session will be recorded. Maybe many of you, based on your local location, you can refer these slides as well to find out whom to complain. So nowadays it is no longer I have to go to a police station, I have to meet someone, I have to do something. You can contact cyber police over web. You can very well lodge a complaint in cybercrime.gov.in. Yeah. So all the possible consequences you have, it is a punishable fact under Indian Penal Code. I'll not go and try to tell you the mapping of the penal codes, though I have mapped it already. Section 66, 1, 2, 67, 68, 69, 70, whatever. But the point I'm trying to say is all possible cybercrime related issues are well protected in Indian Penal Code under IT Act. So if we are having certain problems, we need to lodge a complaint. Then we will be safeguarded by Indian law, Indian mechanisms. So we should not hide. We should come up and lodge a complaint. All possible consequences related to cyber, everything is mapped in the Indian Penal Code and IT Act. So you should be rest assured, if you are approaching to the right channel and the right time, your data, your money, everything will be safeguarded. But you need to approach, you need to be cautious, you need to be proactive, you need to cannot suppress the fact. Yeah, so precautions, awareness, self-control. These are the few thumb rules to safeguard ourselves in this digital transformation journey. Last but not the least, I'll put certain slides, though those are more technical. I'll try to just touch upon. So these are all I talked about, all about the common people. What happened to our enterprises? Yes, enterprises are also under attack, because as I said, not only individual but also in enterprise, we all are trying to uh, uh, safeguard a breach, which is not possible. Because you might have seen Sony, Equifax, everyone in the world, they have got attacked, because everyone is trying to protect or maybe safeguard from an attack, which is not possible. Attack will happen because I am trying to protect the thief from one door, closing the door. He will come from another door. So I should be having the mechanism to find out once the breach has happened. From the breach and the actual impact of data compromise, this is called dwell time. During that time, which is around, which was in 2017, it was 498 days, and in 2018 is 204 days. Means once somebody, some attacker has came to my network and I have realized it, by that time data has gone out, that is around 204 days. I still had 204 days time in my hand. I could have taken necessary precaution, necessary measures and incident response. I could have avoided the data breach. So that is critically applicable for the enterprise architecture. So we need to have the response mechanism in place. We should be able to detect the breach and we should be able to respond before I get impacted, my data gets breached. Yeah, so this is a common slide, how we can assess, prepare, prevent, detect, analyze, and definitely respond. So this is the cybersecurity maturity curve. I'll not go into the details because a little bit of deeper technical. Maybe today I tried to be not much of a technical. So earlier situation was we were trying to detect the cybersecurity problems. Now we are trying to hunt the problem. We are trying to do orchestration. We are trying to do proactive defense. So cyber landscape is getting challenged again and again. So this is a typical work from home situation for the enterprise. These are the possible measures organizations need to adopt in last lockdown, even this lockdown. Business continuity, VPN, endpoint protection and response, endpoint detection and response, DLP with user behavior analysis, next generation firewall, CISO on demand, ADC, cloud security, all those different kind of measures, tools and technologies and processes organization need to adopt in this new normal time when home is our new office. Yeah, so the conclusion slides. So this was again one of the session, Lieutenant General Rajesh Pant, he is the National Cyber Security Chief. He said cyber security is everyone's responsibility. It's not only about government, not only about law enforcement, not only about enterprise. It is all about us. More and more we will be aware, more will be cautious. We can spread the awareness. We can influence the other people to safeguard themselves as a community, as a society, as a nation, and as a country, as a universe. We will be safeguard our critical data, which is data is treated to be our currency. So data culture has to be built across, starting from this educational institute to enterprise to the individual, from the teenage to the senior citizens. So then only as a society, as a nation, we can be cyber safe. This already I have spoken, so I'll not repeat. So that's all. There are a lot of things to discuss. I tried to be short or maybe little crisp. At least I tried to put certain pointers so that at least because in a 1 hour time may not be everything will be possible to make you understand, but at least few key pointers. If it helps your mind, you can put more search, more aware, and apply it to your life. Then the session will be meaningful. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Yeah. It's a very interesting and informative session. I'm sure that all the participants have learned a lot. Personally, this session has taught me many things, many mistakes which I commit in day-to-day life. So I learned many things from your session, sir. So I will definitely incorporate in my day-to-day life operation of those silly things that which I normally unknowingly do. And before I go for a formal vote of thanks, I would request the participants to raise few questions. If they have any queries, please either you raise your hand or you write in the chat box. Either you raise your hand so that you can ask direct, or you can type in the chat box so that I can read out the questions for the speaker. So I already have one question from one of the participants, that what are the biggest cyber security threats right now, and how are the big giants facing and overcoming it? And second question is, what is the top cybersecurity concern for any business, and how do they tackle it?
Yeah. So biggest security threats at this moment, there are two aspects. One is ransomware, and definitely one is phishing. Though using the phishing lines only, ransomwares are coming. So these are the major concerns across the globe. Ransomware trends are rising day by day. Because last week also you might have seen, like in US, one of the entire production system got stopped due to this ransomware attack. So I'll put ransomware and phishing. These are the two major problems. And the second question is saying how they tackle this kind of situations. Yeah. So if I say ransomware is a major problem, ransomware, how ransomware comes? Ransomware cannot be dealt using point products, because you might be seeing a lot of enterprise like antivirus companies. Somebody will come say, my antivirus is endpoint protection, it will give you a ransomware protection. It doesn't happen like that, because ransomware is a kind of a fabric. It can come from the endpoint, it can come from the mail, it can come from the web. So if we want to have a ransomware protection, it has to be dealt as a framework. So I need a proper endpoint security, which is EDR, endpoint detection and response, which is the next generation endpoint security. I need to have a web application firewall. I need to have a next generation firewall. I need to have a email security. Also, I need to have a sandboxing, because what methodologies I will adopt, there will be zero-day attacks always. Sandboxing will be keeping your last good condition backups. From there, you can still do the analyze and still you can restore. So ransomware kind of problems can be better protected moment it is taken as a fabric on all possible five elements. Then only it can be taken holistically.
So thank you. And I also look for a couple of questions more. We can take couple of questions more. If anyone wish to ask directly, can raise their hand or type in the chat box so that I can read out. We can take couple of questions more. Okay. So question comes that how effective is any cyber security strategy at addressing business risk, and how do we measure its efficiency? And another question is, what should be the plan for identifying and addressing cyber threats? And are we vulnerable to third-party application hosted on our network?
First one is definitely measuring business risk for cybersecurity is always essential. That's why, as you are, I was saying in one of the slides, nowadays ISO 22301 is one of the prominent standard many organizations are trying to adopt, because moment suppose I am saying one of my plant it is gone and attacks by ransomware, but my businesses cannot go down. I need to have a disaster recovery. I need to have a business continuity plan so that my business operations can run. So risk assessment kind of situation, which is called, there is a standard called ISO 31000, which is a COVID kind of a framework through which third-party agencies come and analyze organization risk and ask them for mitigation strategies. There are certain kind of mechanism like vulnerability assessment, penetration testing. These are the certain kind of process through which we measure what is the gap in the posture. Like at this moment in India, we have many regulators, like we have RBI, we have IRDA, we have SEBI, all of them mandated for all the different stakeholders. Like SEBI is saying all trading houses has to go for cyber resiliency audit and system audit every 6 months. That is a proactive measures they are asking them to do, comply, so that they can safeguard the risk, because they are handling with customer data. Yeah, your and my data are being used by the trading houses. RBI is saying all possible banks, they are asking them for do IS audits. They are asking for red teaming, blue teaming exercise. Like TRI is saying all the ISPs to go for ISO 27000 kind of standard, because as a national critical infrastructure, these are critical, like financial institutions, our ISPs, because all my personal data are getting traveled through them. So they are all suggesting to have this kind of best practices and standard, so that risk can be measured beforehand and mitigated before actual attacks and those kind of situations come. So it is extremely essential to have a proactive risk management and do the possible remediations. So any organization starting from SMEs to enterprise and government to enforce cybersecurity strategies. That is one. And second question was, what should be the plan for identifying addressing cyber threats? Yeah, plan is, as I said earlier also, I said there has to be certain best practices, some certain mechanism has to be adopted. There has to be audits. Like if it is a process related, there has to be different audits, ISO 27000 or business continuity, whatever. Or if it is a business, or if it is a VAPT or infrastructure related, there has to be proactive audits. Let it be internal or let it be third party. Continual basis every quarter, every 6 months, or in a year kind of situation, we need to have proactive audits. And secondly, we need to have next generation tools like say EDR, SIM, security incident and event management. What they do, they have our AI and ML inbuilt. Using that, they try to analyze whatever possible consequences, anomalies in my network, so that we can address cybersecurity threats in a better way. And the
Last
third one was how vulnerable to third-party applications hosted on our network. Yeah, definitely it is vulnerable, because that's why if you can see any government application, the government is having a mandate. Any government application, government before putting it to the data center, it has to be audited by a certain auditor. Unless it is a certain auditor is certifies that application is safe to host, any government authority, let it be SDC, let it be say in West Bengal, if I say Webel, Election Commission, HITCO, whomsoever, they are not building any application themselves. They are building it to third party. But moment third party applications is built, unless that is verified and endorsed by certain empaneled auditor, that is not allowed to host anywhere. So that way certain mechanisms are already defined by CERT in the computer emergency response teams. If people follows that, then definitely before putting it to the production, we can do the application audit and mobile application, web application audit to safeguard our infrastructure.
last question of this session is that how do we have a right data governance strategy to minimize cyber risk?
So yeah, I think it is a generic question. So if it is a government standpoint, then definitely in India there has to be PDP kind of bill has to be approved, because as you can see GDPR kind of things Europe has done. So unless there is a penalty not defined, no one across the globe are conscious about data. So in India, the PDP kind of bill has to be approved. And if you talk about internal organization may deploy certain, like still in India, I know many organizations, they are doing IT heads, they are using them as a CISO. He is managing IT, he is also managing cyber security. So there has to be a definite cyber security practitioner. You should have a proper CISO who can design, deploy your policies. You should implement certain best practices, as I talked about. If you are talking about data security, ISO 27000. Like if you are doing businesses with European Union, with some of your customer, GDPR, there are SOC 2 kind of compliances. If you are handling credit card, debit card data, there are PCI DSS kind of compliances. So there are certain international benchmarking. If you are enterprise, if you can adopt, implement, and follow and get certified with this kind of best practices, definitely data governance you can build in your enterprise.
Last question of the session. I would request the participants later on, please write the question. We will send to a speaker. But meanwhile, we received one question. So this will be the last question of the session. The question is, will the big data sentiment analytics become the tool for fighting cybercrime?
Yeah, sometimes yes, because as you can see nowadays, uh, we are talking about a lot of fake news, lot of, because there are situations for communal riots to preventing that, government sometimes has to force stop internet in certain areas. How do they analyze? Because nowadays digital media is very useful tool to spread fake news. So there are certain tools like CID, those law enforcement authorities, they use certain kind of tools. So let it be in Bengali and many other language, all your movement, whatever you are doing, all those mechanisms can be analyzed, and we can understand. Like you might have seen one of the celebrity put certain comments against government doing some against vaccination and COVID situation. Her Facebook account or maybe Instagram account, I don't remember, it got blocked. So that means using this big data sentiment kind of big data means huge amount of data. So social media and this surveillance kind of data is a huge amount of data. So big data with using AI and machine learning, I can definitely understand and predict the impact of that particular motion in that particular community, on particular state, on particular country, and accordingly I can take necessary preventive measures to safeguard this kind of communal riot and many other things.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mukherjee. It's indeed a very interesting and thought-provoking session, but all good things has to have an end. So it's my pleasure to invite one of my students, Indranil Hajra, to give a formal vote of thanks. Indranil,
Thank you, sir.
please.
So first of all, a very good evening, everyone. So we have reached at the end of this amazing session. Today, I, Indranil, on behalf of the entire Calcutta Business School, I would like to express my sincere thanks to Mr. Sushovan Mukherjee, Chairman of InfoSec Foundation and Cyber Security Advisor, for giving such an excellent coverage to the theme Cyber Disaster Detection, Response and Mitigation of Risk. This program cannot be completed without your presence. Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your inspiring and motivating words. We did learn a lot of things from this session, starting with the Internet Minute, that is, what happens in a single minute of Internet, various myths, why there is a surge in the cybercrime, various social engineering techniques to lure the users, some of the COVID time cybercrime, see cyber threats, phishing, malware, fake news, websites, ransomware, cyberbullying, and many more. Also, we learned how some of these cybercrimes can be avoided. I'm definitely sure all of my friends will grab all the good points. I would like to thank our principal, sir, Dr. Suman Kumar Don, and Professor Sanjeev Biswas, sir, for organizing this event, which will be very fruitful for us in the near future. I would like to extend my gratitude thanks to our professor for all the support and the guidance they shower upon us. Would also like to thank the students, student committee, and the supporting staff. Moreover, we look forward to have many more such powerful sessions from you and keep learning new things from you, sir. Sir, once again, I want to state that we are all utmost grateful to you. We thank you for being with us in this evening. Thank you so much, sir.
So, with the permission of Mr. Mukherjee, the honorable speaker of this session, we are going to formally close this session. On behalf of Calcutta Business School, I also extend you our gratitude for accepting our invitation to deliberating upon such an important topic. Thank you, sir. We would love to meet you in our campus once the situation becomes normal.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So we formally close this session now. Thank all participants for their patient